The Newton Zoning Board of Adjustments public hearing was called to order at 7:05 PM on March 1st, 2023. Here, would you take a roll call, Jim, please?
Mr. Kozak?
Here.
Mr. Hamel?
Present.
Mr. Sylvia?
Here.
Mr. Gibbs?
Here.
Ms. McCarthy?
Here.
Ms. White?
Here.
And Ms. Reardon?
Here.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Tonight we have one public meeting, and we're going to start at 7:06 PM. Could you please read the application, Jim?
Jeffery Card of Newton, New Hampshire requests a public hearing for an equitable waiver in relief of ordinance number 11, non-conforming lot structures and uses, section 3, expansion of non-conforming structures for their property at 1A Wilders Grove Road. The property is referenced as tax map 2, block 3, lot 35-1.
I move to find the application complete and take jurisdiction. Is someone second?
Second.
Excuse me, Mr. Kozak, this is Barbara. Do you have your microphone on? Because I can't hear what you're saying.
Thank you very much. I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
it was off. I just turned it on.
Okay.
Apologize for that.
That's okay.
Okay. Want to take a roll call, Jim, on that to vote?
Mr. Gibbs?
Here.
Mr. Hamel?
All right.
Mr. Sylvia?
Aye.
Mr. Kozak?
Aye.
Ms. McCarthy?
Aye.
That's unanimous.
Okay. And Mr. Dignan?
Yes.
Would you kind of go through the presentation of the application again, please? Thank you.
Yes. Since our original approval last year to move the pre-existing non-conforming structure onto the property where the original built structure was actually encroaching at a slight angle, but encroaching into the abutting property by as much as 1.5 feet. The board gave us relief to move the structure 5 feet onto the property, the previous structure, which was 22 by 26. Since then, the cards, were not able to move that structure just in its condition. It was not movable, basically. So they, removed it, raised it, whatever, removed it properly. And the replacement that they are looking to put in is slightly larger. It's a 26 by 28 instead of the 22 by 26. So you've gone up a couple hundred square feet basically in footprint, and just to make a more livable home now. And I know several of the board members did a site walk probably a month and a half ago now, just to visualize, the step down and so forth of the foundation and location. Excuse me, as I stated at the previous meeting, we still held the back line and the sideline that we were improving the setback to the abutter and the back line so that we were not encroaching, we weren't any closer to the wetlands at the rear of the property than what was previously approved. So essentially, the additional 4 feet that the structure is gaining here went towards the street. So that additional 4 feet goes towards the street, but still meets the setbacks. And as far as the setbacks from the lake being a lot behind the lake, there's no lake issues or anything that need to be addressed at this juncture or anything. So that's basically what we're here for, is an equitable waiver to increase the footprint of the previously approved structure to a slightly larger one. And, we've, at this juncture, remove decks. We're not going to be dealing with decks or anything. They'd just like to finally get a house rebuilt that's more livable, okay?
Yeah.
So,
Okay, thank you. I'll turn it over to board members for questions.
I have one question.
Yes.
Maybe I shouldn't ask it. So, our minutes in February said that this was a public hearing tonight?
This is a public
So
hearing.
were notices sent out? Because this says public meeting, our agenda.
Notices were set out to abutters, Jim, correct?
Yeah, this is a public hearing.
Even though the agenda said a public meeting.
But
Was that just a typo?
You're looking at last month's application, I mean,
no, the agenda for tonight
yeah.
Yeah.
does say preliminary review again.
I just want to know if notices
Oh.
But that is irrelevant, because as long as the meeting has been posted,
Right.
and as long as all the abutter notices
That's
and
my
the
question.
and the notice in the newspaper went out.
But he didn't answer me yet. Did we send out notices to
Yes,
abutters?
notices
Okay,
and the...
that's all I needed to
The
know.
public notice was in the newspaper.
Okay.
All that was done. I apologize.
Okay, that was my question.
Okay. Is that the
I
only question?
thought I
was
caught
housekeeping.
that.
Not what you mailed out to us.
Thank you.
Okay. I apologize for that.
No apology necessary.
I have no questions. I don't know about the rest
Ms.
of the board.
White, do you have any questions for the applicant?
I do not at this time, thank you.
Okay.
I think for the record, we should note that there is no public comment because there are no abutters have shown up. The only people in the audience are the applicants.
I don't think any abutters showed
Ever.
last year
Ever,
either.
yeah.
To any of the hearings
Right.
ever, so,
Right.
But I just want to put that,
Yeah.
we didn't forget to ask the abutters, they just chose not to appear.
The whole, either application is still a grave improvement over
Yes,
the
Jim.
encroachment that was previously existing, so, I mean,
Or the other one?
the one abutter
Put it over here because I didn't
really
need
is
it.
affected here is
This one.
now finally got unencumbrance, so.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's it, okay, yeah. Yeah, take those. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, oh, yeah, okay, you left it, okay. Okay. No questions or comments? Okay. I close the public meeting at 7:10 PM.
Hearing.
Here, excuse me. And we will, oh boy, and we're gonna start deliberation here between us. Does anybody have anything that we should be concerned about or whatever?
I'm ready to go through the criteria for the equitable waiver.
Okay.
I agree.
Is everybody happy with that?
You okay with that?
Everybody's got a copy of the, that
Yep.
Jim has provided for us? Okay. Jim, would you go through with the application for an equitable waiver of dimensional requirements, please?
Okay.
And
Criteria 1. Does the request involve a dimensional requirement, not a use restriction? Mr. Kozak?
yes,
Mr. Sylvia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes,
Ms. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mr. Gibbs?
Yes.
Criteria 2, the violation has existed for 10 years or more, with no enforcement action, including written notice, being commenced by the town. Mr. Kozak?
no,
Mr. Sylvia?
No.
Mr. Hamel?
nope,
Ms. McCarthy?
No.
Mr. Gibbs?
No.
Or the nonconformity was discovered after the structure was substantially completed or after a vacant lot of land had been transferred to a bona fide purchaser. And the violation is not the outcome of ignorance of the law or bad faith, but resulting from a good faith error in measurement or calculation. Mr. Kozak?
yes, and no.
Mr. Sylvia?
Yes.
Mr. Hamel?
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mr. Gibbs.
Yes.
Criteria 3, the nonconformity does not constitute a nuisance nor diminish the value or interfere with future uses of other property in the area. Mr. Kozak,
Agree.
Mr. Sylvia,
I agree. I don't think it degrades any of the property values or causes any negativity to any of the abutters.
Mr. Hamel,
Agree.
Ms. McCarthy,
Agree.
Mr. Gibbs.
Agree.
Criteria 4, the cost for correcting far outweighs any public benefit to be gained. Mr. Kozak,
Agree.
Mr. Sylvia,
I agree for the reasons that I stated prior. I think this is only going to make the neighborhood
Mr.
aesthetically
Hamel,
better.
Agree.
Ms. McCarthy,
Agree.
Mr. Gibbs.
Agree.
Mr. Chairman, the proper criteria has been met.
Okay.
And I think about facts on the application, I think basically the only fact that we need to find as a finding of fact is that all of the requirements for an equitable waiver have been met.
Does anybody else have any other facts that should be written into the motion?
Make a motion to approve the equitable waiver, stipulating that the building will conform to the plan of, prepared by V.W. Digman, dated January 19th, 2023.
Is that the correct plan?
Yeah. I added the October date that you requested.
Thank you.
But this was the latest rendition and stamped it, so.
Beautiful. I'll second that.
Yeah, the title of the plan is 1A Wilders Grove Road, Newton, Hampshire.
You all set?
Yeah. Mr. Gibbs,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Yes.
Mr. Sylvia,
Yes.
Mr. Kozak,
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy.
Yes.
Chairman, the relief sought has been granted.
I'm sorry, what, sir?
The relief that it was sought has been granted.
The decision has been granted by the ZBA.
Thank you.
Thank you. Someone make a motion to close the public hearing.
No, we already closed it.
Pardon me?
Ready to close
We did that already.
Closed it at 7:10.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did up there. It must be the hand effect.
He
of
doesn't
my
look at
brain
his
tonight.
script.
Yeah.
I saw him look at it. I don't think he read it.
Okay, has everybody seen the minutes for last month?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of February 1st, 2023.
Second.
Any corrections from the board?
Good enough.
None.
Love it. I think that's a first since I've been on the board.
I know.
I know what, Roger,
When
you
he
sure
made
you
that
read them
motion,
over,
I'm like,
Roger?
okay.
There usually aren't many corrections. Mr. Gibbs,
Yes.
Mr. Hamel,
Aye.
Mr. Sylvia,
Yes.
Mr. Kozak,
Yes.
Ms. McCarthy.
Yes.
There is no escrow
No
manifest.
escrow account. And nothing else on the agenda, or I'm going to close the hearings at 7:20 PM. Wow. Adjournment.
We're not doing the escrow
God, we haven't been
Actually,
out.
it's
There isn't any.
7:18.
Oh, my watch is ahead of everybody else, Joe.
Okay,
Thank you. But anyway, yeah.
thank you.
Wow, wasn't that kind of like a relief?